Good morning, brothers, and the occasional sister. There's a sister there, and there's a sister over here. This is Hilary
Good morning.
and Margaret.
Good morning.
Two sisters that live in the houseboat, and we're discussing this morning, we're debating actually, why there's a breakdown in our society with men and women and what's going wrong with relationships. 3 suicides in Mapur in the last couple of 3 weeks of me and I talked about, and they've had relationship problems, 2 of them, I believe. And this is quite a theme. Hilary, what's going on with men and women today? Why is this breakdown happening? What's your spin on it? Tell us all.
Well, we are just talking about how Australia and New Zealand are on par
Yeah.
with suicide rates and how both are great countries.
They are great countries. We've got everything going here. We've got no civil war. We've got no deadly threat in the water like cholera or typhoid and all that, like a lot of African countries. Monetary wise, I think we're about 7% right now interest rate, so it's not too high compared to the rest of the world. Other countries like America are higher.
Yeah.
Employment numbers are pretty good. We don't have, I suppose in Auckland we've got those rammings going on about the worst that we've got.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a beautiful country. We've got fresh water here. It's just really an idyllic place to live, yet people are unhappy. Lots of people, and a lot of particularly young men. So what's going on with the relationships?
I wonder if because the women have changed the way that we are now, like we are more independent, and women weren't allowed to. We couldn't divorce. A man could divorce his wife a number of decades ago, but women couldn't. So women were sort of forced to stay within a relationship because if they had children, they couldn't leave easily to be able to take their children with them and carry on and find a job and work. Didn't quite work the same as it does today. So a lot of women stayed within a relationship, even though it might have been an awful relationship, they stayed there. Today, we don't tend to stay in our relationships if we are unhappy. We don't tend to work on it. So I think relationships are falling over a lot quicker, perhaps easier than they used to 50 years ago, 60 years ago. Because, when we got married, you were always told by your older generations, you make your bed, you lie in it.
Yeah.
Like there was that saying that now that you're married, put up with it, you made your bed, you now lie in it because that's all you've got.
Right.
You got no choice.
Did you lie in your bed?
No, I didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
I had, no, we didn't. We don't need to now.
You don't need to.
We don't need to now. We can leave. We can find jobs. We have a benefit for women if they want to take on that benefit to have their children. They can take their children with them.
Yeah.
Which again leads to that same question that we've had before about men losing contact with their children, which I think is another issue with relationships breaking up today, is that men are often separated, not just from their wife, but their children as well, which needs to be, I think that needs to be something that needs to be addressed.
Absolutely. Yeah, the rights, it seems unequal, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It seems to be in the favour of the woman, and a lot of men that I know that have taken their lives have done just over that.
That's right. And when I broke up with my husband, we agreed that neither of us would move from the district, and we actually had week about, so we had equal time with our children.
And week about with your children?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was even, and if I went away, he had the children, and if he went away, I had so it was even. There was no scrapping over the rights to see the children or.
That's great. Are you still friends today?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, that's a good story. What do you think is making men suffer the way they are suffering with a broken relationship? Do you think men are feeling they've been made obsolete by the new paradigm, or is it something more going on?
I think men possibly do feel that they're obsolete and that they are not quite that person that supports the family like they used to, but men need to adjust to that.
Yeah.
They need to adjust to knowing that they are still fully able, capable men. Because they lose their relationship, it doesn't stop them from being that. So they need to re-look at how they cope with a broken relationship.
And define themselves as a man. Without that woman in their life.
Yeah. Doesn't make a woman doesn't make a man.
No, that was what I was saying.
Yeah.
The pendulum swung the other way, hasn't it now? Almost gone the other way, where women have so many rights and the men are almost been, in some way, well, they're not coping with it.
No.
They're not coping well with it. And
not.
women cope a lot better with the breakups than men do, is what I've seen. Women go, okay, he's gone, on with life.
Yeah.
Men go, oh shit, I'm never going to find somebody else. I love her. I can't handle this. I'll take my life. And it happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a good debate. So, do you want to add anything to that to Margaret over in the corner here, Nurse Margaret? Or was there anything that you would add to that as far as young men today that have lost their partner, or the wife has taken the children away? What would you say to them if it was?
Well, the wife, I think, with taking the children away, they need to be responsible and not make children pawns in a relationship, and that's what quite often happens, and which can be devastating for men to not be able to see their children. But no, I think Hilary has almost said it all really about how men are more emotionally attached to a relationship, whether they are in love with them or not. I think they're more attached to the relationship itself.
Yeah.
And they get devastated when that woman walks away.
Do you think today that young women need to have a man to be married to a man like they used to?
No.
No.
I don't.
So that's kind of old models dying, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. It is. They don't need to be married. You can have a relationship and have children without being married. But then when I got married, we couldn't even get a mortgage. A woman couldn't get a mortgage unless they had a man.
Right. That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's almost sexist.
It is sexist,
So
yeah.
You can see why it's swung the other way. That's ridiculous, yeah. What about the rule, I'll ask you, Hilary, what about the rule that when you beat a woman, that the rule of thumb that you shouldn't actually use a stick that's bigger than your thumb? You know that rule?
Yeah, I do.
Can you believe that? That's where rule of thumb comes from. Back in the day, you could beat your woman with a stick, but it couldn't be any thicker than your thumb.
That's right.
I'm actually going to see if we can get that rule reintroduced. I'm going to get out of here before I get just joking. Get away from Margaret. She'll let me. I mean, that's crazy, isn't it?
But we were property. Once upon a time, women were property. We had no rights, and if we walked away from our husband, we couldn't take our children because they had the right of take our children.
Wow! So the pendulum has actually swung the other way.
Yes, you couldn't take your children at all.
No.
Back in Victorian days, you couldn't leave your husband and take your children. The children were the husband's property.
Right. That's so. Imagine that. So it's actually swung the other way. So that's what's happened. Oh, well, thank you very much for your input. A couple of women who've been there and very happy living in my houseboat right now.
Yes, well.
Very happy.
Yeah. I bought you some veggies out of my garden, and look at this. The bloody rabbits are chewing them. See that?
They are too.
So I might bring you some rabbit pie later on.
Oh, yeah.
I've got to shoot that rabbit first. Okay. Tilly, you happy down there, mate, hearing the story going on? Hey, good girl. All right, brothers, that's a bro check video. I thought it'd be interesting for a lot of you that are struggling with losing your partner or having lost your partner. And if you are really struggling with that to the point that you're feeling depressed and you've had thoughts of even suicide, please reach out to services. If you're in that state of mind where it's got so bad that you just can't see a way out, I can appreciate that you don't want to talk to anybody or you don't want to reach out, but particularly if you have children involved, you've got children that really do need you in their life, even though you're not currently there. And at some other time down the track, they will need you. So put your own feelings aside of pain and hurt and challenge and get some professional help. Go and talk to your doctor, and if you've had the actual thoughts or even gone further and planned your own death, tell your doctor so they can help you get the right help, because down the track, and I'll tell you this firsthand, it gets better. My kid's mum moved up to the North Island with her new partner, and I didn't see my kids for a while, and I actually said to my daughter, I said, cry every day because Squeaky Wheel gets the oil. Cry and say, I miss Dad. Squeaky Wheel gets the oil, and that's exactly what she did. And before you know it, they moved back to Nelson, and I got to see her again, and I'm actually very good friends with the mum today still, and we brought all the family back together. It can get better. It doesn't have to be bad. One thing about any sort of crisis in your life is sooner or later it will pass. So hang in there and get professional help. And on the other hand, brothers, if you know a brother who's recently broken up with his wife or his girlfriend and you suspect something's not right, check on a brother, because that's what a brother does. Go steady. Sorry, do you want to say something?
Yeah, there is something, like I've said to my brother,
What-
and I've said to other men that have separated from their woman, they have to have a female, they still need female energy in their life to go get a massage. Find a woman that they get on well with and get that female energy without the sexual need, contact, but it's still a female. And a lot of the men I've spoken to find that very, very useful.
Yeah.
They're still having that connection with a female, but it's not a sexual or romantic.
Yeah, you see,
Yeah.
I did that when I broke up, and she massaged every part of my body except the part I wanted massaged. It's
Yeah.
like, can we get to that bit? Nah, yeah.
Yeah, but no, some men do find that useful.
No, I actually did. I saw a friend down the road, and it was useful. And yeah, that's actually a really good bit of input. There you go. Something that came from a woman. And I think that's really, really good. Yeah, you get that human touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, bloody good. Okay, brothers, there, it's a tip from a woman. Thanks for listening, and check on a brother if you know one in that situation. Okay, go steady. See you next Road Check Club video. Bye.